them to go in the midst of God's permissive allowance, and we say abort, abort. I'm talking about those moments when we don't feel like praying. I'm talking about those times we don't feel like lifting up our hands and giving God praise. I'm talking about those moments when we don't feel like letting go and letting God. I'm talking about those moments of abort, abort, when we try to figure it out instead of trusting God to figure out and do what God does not need our help to do for us and through us and in spite of us, even in our lives. Do I have anybody that has ever prematurely stepped away from what you know God had for your life? But I've got good news for you. In the midst of a comeback and a payback, but Simon, but Peter, but Charles, but you, I need you to understand that there is a but in your situation, which lets me know that God will invalidate what you have messed up sometimes and still step in to your life. Is there anybody who is glad that though you messed up the moment of permissive allowance and you shouted abort, abort, that God stepped in and still spoke to you, still dealt with you, still had his hand on you, even when you didn't feel like praying, God was right there. Even when you didn't give him praise, God was right there. Even when you didn't bless him, he blesses you over and over again. Brothers and sisters, you need to give God praise because in your life, even though you have aborted and abandoned, God still has a plan for you. A comeback and a payback. He said, Simon, Satan wants all of you. He wants permission. He wants the permission slip signed, and it has been. But there it is, changing. I have prayed for you. And what he says, and I need to fix this up, y'all got to understand something about Simon Peter. He was the leader of the 12. Jesus said, I pray for you especially because I know that if you can come back, if you can pay back, then the 11 will follow. I know that if you could get your act together, then they may have a chance at getting theirs together too. Y'all, but here's the key I want to focus on. Jesus prayed for him. And in a time and day when we want the name it and claim it blessings of God, in a moment when we want an answer in a microwave minute, in a time and season when we just need to go higher and higher in what we receive of God. Is there anybody that can get just a little bit excited that even though you are in what you're in, where you are, that Jesus is praying for you? Do I have anybody that said, hold on, brother preacher, I never looked at it like that? Understand that there's nothing that happened for Simon Peter yet, but Jesus was already praying for him. And I'm here to let somebody know you may be in it right now. You may be up to your neck in struggle right now. You may be burdened down right now. But Jesus has already prayed for you, and he's praying for you right now. Somebody ought to give joy and give praise when you think about the fact that Jesus is praying for you. I know I'm waiting on the job. Jesus already prayed about it. I know I'm waiting on the spouse. Jesus already prayed about it. I'm waiting on the breakthrough. He already prayed about it. I'm waiting on the answer. He already prayed about it. I'm waiting on the cure, on the healing. He already prayed about it. Is there anybody that can have a yet praise and even now praise because he prayed about it even though I don't have it yet? Look at somebody. Tell him I don't have it yet. He prayed for me. He interceded for me. I don't have the car yet, but it's on the way. I don't have the breakthrough yet, but it's on the way. I don't have the miracle yet, but it's on the way. I don't have the answer yet, but it's on the way. I don't have the promise yet, but it's on the way. I don't have the purpose yet, but it's on the way. A comeback and a payback. Here's the question. How, Brother Pastor, do we have a comeback and a payback? When, catch this here, we got Satan's problem of a permissive allowance. Can I teach this for a moment? When we have self's pains of premature aborting of the mission, how do we have a comeback and a payback? I want to answer that question just for a moment here in the text in verse 32. I want to point your attention there, lest I be accused of making something up. I want you to see the truth in black, white, and in red. Here it is. Catch this first answer and point. We have a comeback and a payback because rejection and return are accounted in it. I gotta say that again 2 more times. Y'all, we have a comeback and a payback because rejection, somebody say rejection, and return, somebody say return, are accounted in it. Where do you see that, brother preacher? I'm glad you asked. Look what he says in verse 32. He says, now I prayed for you that your faith and confidence in me will not fail. Here's the part that really blessed me. And you, that's personal, once you have turned back to me. Hold up. Peter had not denied or betrayed Jesus yet. And yet, look at this. Jesus has already accounted for the fact that Peter is both reject and return to him. I need somebody to catch this right here. Y'all, I felt like running a marathon when God blessed me with this. Jesus